right, a very good afternoon. It is 12:33. Welcome to Parenting Today, your number one parenting show on radio. My name is Ifunaya, and I am speaking with the CEO of Lagos Moms, Yetty Williams. Good afternoon, Yetty.
Good afternoon, Ife. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So you did also mention, say going into summer, we're slowly getting into the summer holiday as well. And with this understanding that, based on the information shared on last week's episode and even right now, what difference can parents make, regarding how they are bringing up their, male child?
Yeah. So as we're getting into the summer months, what happens is children are then left at home, or they're not in school anyway, so they're not in any organized daily activities for about 2 months. Some of them, depending on the school, some have finished exams, some are about to start exams. Some children who were GCSE students, some of them have finished now. A-level students in some parts of the world are also already on holiday, waiting to start uni. So the point really is, no matter where your child sits in terms of location, age, class, summer months are coming up where a child is going to be essentially left to their devices for about 2 months. Mm-hmm. Now, parents can be very effective parents in the physical. And what I mean by that is you can be a great intentional parent where your children's meals are well planned, balanced diet. They're having a little bit of everything they should have on a daily basis. They're getting to bed on time. They're taking their vitamins. And all of that. But when it comes to the online world and when it comes to summer months, we find that sometimes, because if parents don't plan ahead, anything tends to go. So if a child is left to their devices over the summer, it means that a child can get into all kinds of activities during the summer months, 24 hours a day for 2 months. That can be very damaging. Mm. So parents need to start thinking, what does that mean for my child? Let's even talk about your teenager. Okay, he's going to be done with school. What is he going to be doing for 2 months when he's not having to go to school, sleep, wake up, study, do homework? He's at home for that period of time. If a parent doesn't put a plan in place, especially for teenagers, that means they can probably be on their devices, right? Yeah. 24 hours a day. Yeah. All the time. Getting into all sorts. So parents need to have a plan along with the child, because at that age, you can't necessarily pick the activities for the child. As a teenager, they have the agency and the ability to tell you what they like, what they're interested in, and what they're not interested in. However, what I don't believe parents can do is leave a child to just do what they want for the whole summer. Because whatever hard work you've put in place, you can undo it over the summer months, and then the child might struggle to settle back into life again come September, for example, when schools resume.
That's so interesting. Okay, there are different areas that I want us to then explore based on what you've just said. Okay, I'm sure one question that is resounding is, what are the options really in Nigeria for the summer? What are if your kids are not traveling abroad, for instance, if they're not traveling away from the home or anywhere, what are the possible options? Let's even start with that, and then I want us to pick out something that you mentioned, but let's start with what the options are.
Okay. The options are, first of all, saying that, first of all, I want to debunk the idea that if they're not traveling out, number one, then it means that what else is there to do? Because those that travel abroad doesn't mean that they're engaging and are properly using that opportunity. What I mean by that is some people travel abroad. You put all this, because it's so expensive to travel now. So you take a child physically away from Lagos. Maybe you go to the UK, for example, and they're there on summer. But when they get to the UK, all they do for that period of time is what? They watch television and use their phones. That is not an effective use either of that experience. So, but let's park that, because that was not specifically your question. But I just want to...
No, but obviously it's all part of it, yes.
It's all part of it, because you can take a child away and they're not maximizing. They're not even understanding and appreciating the fact that we could travel. My parents put all this money to get me to come to another country. I can't just sit on my phone all day. What am I doing to explore where I go? That's one. So when we're local, in Lagos, Nigeria, you're like, okay, we're here for the summer, children are on holiday. What are the options? First of all, unfortunately, there are not many summer school options for teenagers. They are quite limited. You will find a lot of summer camp options that are for the younger children. So when it's from that 13, 14 and above, it's very difficult to find programs for them. So what parents can do is look at the child's interest and try and find opportunities where the child can explore some of those interests. So for example, if you have a child who's interested in law or is thinking about law or knows a lawyer in their life and feel what they're doing is cool, what you could do is find somebody who has a law firm. Mm-hmm. And the good thing with Nigeria is usually in a network, you will find somebody that's either in your family or a friend, for example, that has a law firm. And you can say, can my son or daughter come and spend 2 or 3 hours in the office about what you do in your law firm? It doesn't have to be more than 2 or 3 hours per day, maybe for 1 week or a few days over the summer holiday. The child still has time to do other things, right? They can still hang with their friends. They can still use social media, watch Netflix, but you're telling them that from this time to this time, I found you an opportunity to go and learn in an office what they actually do in a law firm. Now, you can take that particular idea and cut it across several interests. So that same child who has interest in law might also have interest in, music, right? So be able to find somewhere where he can work or go and intern for the summer to learn about how they create music, how they package it all. There's so many parts to music. It's not just writing or singing or performing. There's a whole structure around making somebody a successful musician. So there are things we can break down. And then lastly, you can use online. So yes, maybe the child might not physically be able to go somewhere, but can you go online together and find some good resources that actually teach a child about things they're interested in, maybe on a summer camp that's virtual? So that's a practical example of what you can do. And mom, dad, you probably work somewhere as an employee or you have your own business. Have you considered bringing your teenagers into your own work world somehow? So that's another option you can explore.
I like that. I love it. All right, Yetty, thank you so much. You have shared a lot so far. We're going to take a very quick break, pay some bills. And right after that, I want us to actually delve into something that you had mentioned, which I thought was very profound. You said that you could take just a summer holiday to reverse all the hard work that you've instilled in your child, just that summer holiday. Hence why you have encouraged that the kids need to be engaged. And I think, what we also need to talk about is how best the parents then bring up their kids in such a way that it doesn't take just a summer holiday to reverse it. Is there a method to it? Are there ways that they can ensure that what it is that they're instilling in their kids stand the test of time, be it summer holiday, Christmas holiday, or even when they're engaged? All right, so, you did mention, certain things about the summer holiday and things that you could engage your kids in during the summer holiday. But prior to that, you had mentioned something about a summer holiday can change or reverse the investment that you might have made to an extent in your kids. And I want to know, is that the case for specific traits or characteristics that you're instilling in your kids? Or is it in general when you have trained your kids in specific areas and then a summer holiday comes and they're not really engaged, it can definitely reverse that which you had, instilled in them or trained them towards or, taught them about?
Yeah, what I meant by that was depending on what you check, but summer months is about 2 months, right? So it's about 2 months. And if, for example, during the school term, you are a parent who, the child maybe obviously they have school, they have homework, they have to get to bed at a certain time, right? To wake up at a certain time, during the summer, if there are no plans, a potential day for a teenager could be go to bed at any time, right? Have their devices with them all day, do nothing that's really productive except speak on, connect on social media, watch nonstop videos. And that cycle continues for 2 months, for example, until suddenly the child is about to go back to school. So when I mean the undoing, it's if you've raised your child to be intentional about how they consume content online, and the summer months come and it's free for all, no plans whatsoever, the child can pick up new habits that are not particularly helpful And that's what I mean by it kind of undoing all the hard work you've done up to that point. If you have no plans in place, they can pick up some really bad habits over the summer, build a dependency on their screens and on devices that you don't really want. And then when it's time to go back to school, it's almost like withdrawal again. They have to get used to, oh my God, I have to get back to, I'm only using it for XYZ number of hours a day, blah, blah, blah. So if to even help your work as a parent, I say, try and keep some controls in place over the summer so that you don't just undo it and throw them out there. And then when it's time for school again, you're struggling with getting back. So some of the things you can practically do, like I've literally done with my teenagers, is give me a summer plan. What are you going to be doing? So it's not, as a parent, I say that parenting, your roles change as you get older. As your children get older, you're becoming more like a coach in the parenting style. Okay. It's less of, when they were younger, I would tell them which camp they were going. I signed them up and they went. Now it's tell me some of your summer plans, keeping in mind the things that are important for you to continue to do. So we've been building it up. So they are now the ones giving me, in fact, this morning I just reviewed my son's own. He's 13. And within that, one of the things he put in asterisk was flexibility. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said all these things he has listed out, reading, practicing math, It's flexible in when he gets it done. So far, he does it in the day. That was his way of saying, Mom, don't come and be stressing me.
Exactly. I like that.
Giving
you a heads up.
Exactly. But you see, we're leading with it together. And in that plan, to be honest, it captured a lot of the things that during the summer, during the regular term, we want to have in place. Reading a physical book. Because by the way, research shows that the part of your brain that is used and is being developed when you read a physical book is different from the portions of your brain that's used when you say you're reading an online book. So that means that for our children whose brains are still developing, you can't have a child who just says, I don't like to read, therefore they don't read any physical book. They have to keep reading. So do you see what I mean about the working together? Is because summer does not mean we forget all the rules in the world.
Absolutely.
Yes, we can be more flexible, but you still have to be doing all of these things, chores, reading, hanging out with your sibling. He even put it, how much time he will spend speaking to his sister every day. I said,
that is hilarious. Is he going to also inform his sister that I have only 2 hours for you for this whole week?
I now saw in the list, I said, but you didn't put hanging out with parents. He said, but all the meal times when we do no screen meal time, you people are inside that now. I said, okay, thank you.
That is so interesting. And, this now brings me to ask, for parents who are not 100% in alignment with their kids, always chatting with their friends, who have decided that for summer holiday, enough of talking with this friend or that friend. You do that a lot when you're in school. Would you encourage parents to ensure that their kids are also socializing with their friends from school over the holiday through like phone calls and, play dates, or would you say that they should just focus completely on some of these options that you've given to us?
So I think it's a mix. No child should only do any one thing, I believe, right? And you need to let the child guide you. Some parents, some children really, over the summer, they're like, I see my friends in school all the time. I want to mix with a new set of friends.
Interesting.
That's fine. But you need to be sure, who are these new set of friends? Are they people they actually know? Because the other thing now is, let's remember that social media gives the children what I liken to a digital playground. So that means they can speak to anybody in the world they want to speak to. Does that mean they should be speaking to anybody in the world if they don't know who those people are? So we need to be very careful who they are actually speaking to. So I believe socialization is important, and our children need to learn those social skills, which you are still only going to really learn being in front of somebody. So I still believe that children need to have physical hangouts, whether it's their cousins, whether it's friends from the neighborhood or friends from school. In fact, I would say it's a bit of a red flag if you have a child who says, I beg, I don't want to hang out or see any of my friends from school over the summer.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, right? For me, it's a red flag.
Absolutely.
Why don't you want to hang out with anybody from school over the summer? And hear them out. They might have really good reasons, but it's possible. Could it also be that this child doesn't really feel connected, right, to their friends in school? Is why over the summer they see it as freedom to not have to deal with those people. You want to actually pay attention to that.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Now, just to wrap this up, I want to know the role of, chores over the holidays as well. Remember, you said that you want to ensure that whatever it is that you're doing during the summer holiday will not be 100% like out of the norm or the regular activities of the kids, in the sense that when it's time for school, it's not difficult for them to then, blend into their routine, their regular school routine. Now, with chores, I'm sure even during school period, parents already engage their kids with chores. During the summer holiday, are you advising that the parents up it or just retain what the kids have been used to in terms of chores?
I think the summer is a fantastic time to up it.
Okay.
They're on holiday, they have more time. So we need to see summer as a time to go deeper in whatever it is that as a parent are part of your plans, what I call your parenting vision board. What are the plans you have for the child? So, for example, during the summer, it's time for children to do more. Today, my son was telling me with excitement that, wow, he made the best. And he told me the dish he made. And if you see the way he was talking about the dish he made, it was just egg. But it seems he seasoned it.
I love that.
He seasoned it in a particular way for him that was amazing. I joined in on that celebration. I didn't say, is it just egg now? So I now said, wow, this egg seems like I have to try it. Or are you going to make it for me? So no, I see the summer as, if you are blessed enough, or blessed is not the word, but if you can be intentional about it as parents, please, you also need to take summer holiday. Doesn't matter whether you're traveling or not traveling. You must put it into your calendar as well, that how are you going to have time to spend with these children who actually now have time? When they're in school and you're working, everybody's busy. If you're lucky during the school term, maybe you have 1 or 2 hours together, maybe, if you do per day. On summer holiday, they're on holiday. They're not waking up early at 7 o'clock to rush to school. How are you as a parent benefiting or maximizing that, right? So during the summer is a great time to maybe go deeper on certain chores that they're already doing, or you pick different chores. Maybe you say by the end of the summer, I want my teenagers to be able to make 3 new dishes. That can be a goal in terms of food. So together, you make it together one time, you let them try it one time. Those are things you can do over the summer. See, I only said 3 dishes, though. I didn't say 10. Chores, what are the chores they already do? You'll be amazed some teenagers actually do no chores at all. But those that do, well, good, do more. Those that don't, summer is a great time to introduce it. What are the 2 chores you want to introduce? Maybe, you pick what it is. Is it sweeping? Is it vacuuming? Is it laundry? What is it? Pick it and do it. For example, I'll be practical. This morning, I told the children, I'm like, okay, during the school term, because they have dishes day. They have the days they do their dish, they do dishes.